Today I'm going to talk to you about how to use the cosine rule to find unknown angles or unknown sides. So just if you've watched my sine rule video, you'll know that now we're looking at any triangle. It doesn't have to be a right angle triangle in order to use the cosine rule. The way we label our triangle is slightly different. What we do is we call the capital letters the angles and the corresponding opposite side is the lowercase letters, and that's how we label our triangle in accordance to the formula that I'm going to give you. Now the cosine rule is used in two scenarios. The first scenario is if you have information about all three sides. So if I have all three side lengths, I could use the cosine rule. The second time you'd use the cosine rule is if you've got two sides and an included angle given. And I'm going to write down the cosine rule. I won't do the proof on this one, but I'll just give you the rules. Give me a sec to write them down. So let's look at the first scenario. So here are my rules. I've written them down. Now you need to know that you can adapt these rules to any side. So obviously you just do substitution. So if I wanted to find a squared, then obviously I'm going to have cos a here, and I'm going to have b squared, c squared, and bc here. So it's just a case of adapting the formula. Now in this case I don't need to adapt the formula because I've made sure that I'm going to find side C. So let's just understand that we know how to label. So this would be side B, this is clearly side C because it's opposite side angle C, and this is side A because it's opposite angle A. And I'm just going to substitute the values in to find C. So I'll write in pink, so we've got C squared equals A squared, that's 5 squared, plus b squared, well b is 10, so I'm going to say plus 10 squared. Take away, now you need to understand with the cosine rule that it's take away this whole part of this whole expression here. So sometimes I find it helpful to tell my students to put brackets around this section so that they don't think that they're just subtracting the 2ab and then multiplying that by the cos c. You have to be really careful here, so it's take away all of this. So I will put a bracket there. I'm taking away two lots of a times b, so 2 times 5 times 10 multiplied by cos of c, which is 67. I just managed to squeeze that in. Now, work out as much as you can without the calculator. 5 squared is 25, 10 squared is 100. This you could work out at the time, but you can put here 125, take away all of this. Okay, so I'll just write 2 times 5 times 10 is 50 times 2, which is 100. So I'm taking away 100 cos 67. So c squared equals 125, take away 100 cos 67. Okay, now you'd use the calculator to do that, and then you need to finally square root your answer to then get what side C is. So working all that out, c squared equals 85.93, correct to 2 decimal places. So rounding, shouldn't round right until the end. Square rooting that gives me 9.27, correct to 2 decimal places. So we can say that side C is 9.27 centimetres in length. Okay. And now my second example is about looking at the second time when you use the cosine rule, and this is if you're trying to find an unknown angle and you've been given all three sides. So first thing, let's just label the triangle. The question is asking us to find this angle up here, angle B. So we've got, this is side B, this is side C, and this is side A. Now I'll need to adapt the formula because this says cos C. So I'm just going to substitute all of the letters for the like ones in the triangle. And that comes out as the cos of B equals B squared plus C squared. Take away, oh apologies, that should be A squared. Take away B squared. So I am human, I do make mistakes. Sorry, that's terrible, you can't really see that. Let me just rub that out with the cloth. It's better if I do that. So a squared plus c squared, take away the b squared, and then divided by 2ac. Okay, now that you've got the formula sorted, you can substitute the values in. So cos b equals, well, a is 12, so I'm going to do 12 squared. C is 6, so I'm going to do 6 squared. Take away b squared, which is 15 squared, all divided by 2 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 6. So again, try and work out as much as you can without the calculator. And clearly I'm going to do the inverse cosine of all of this to get angle B. So I will, just for a moment, see what we can work out. So 12 squared is 144, plus 6 squared is 36. Take 225, which is the 15 squared, divided by 12 times 6 is 72, multiplied by 2 is 144. Okay, so let's now inverse cosine. Right, b equals inverse cos, sorry. Crikey, cos the minus 1 of, well, that's negative 45 over 144, which will give me, and I'll have to do that on the calculator, comes out at 108.21 degrees. So angle B is 108.21 degrees. That's pretty much everything you need to know about the cosine rule.